AskReddit by Repulsive Compot 955. Servers at restaurants. What's the strangest thing someone's asked for? When I was cooking in the military, someone requested a BLT sandwich but with no bacon or tomato. He wasn't kidding, he just wanted bread and lettuce. Here's your L, sir. Flavor Flav came into the restaurant I worked at. It was a fancy seafood place. He ordered just a plate of cucumbers for himself. Everyone else at his table ordered normal things. I'm guessing he maybe doesn't like seafood. Hilarious. Yes, he wore a giant clock chain and he let the staff take pics with him as he said Flavor Flav really nice guy. I also served him once. Well done steak with ketchup. It was an Italian restaurant. Deleted. Mans don't want cabbage. A middle-aged lady insisted she didn't like soda water or sparkling water, so instead asked for a white wine spritzer without the white wine. There are 2 ingredients to a white wine spritzer: white wine and soda water. I served a lady a Long Island iced tea and she got mad that the ice was floating on the top instead of the bottom. Sorry mom, I'll just go ahead change the laws of physics and make you a new one. A tablecloth. A gentleman shat himself at a booth and asked for a tablecloth so he could walk out with it wrapped around him. I still serve him to this day and that was around 15 years ago, no shame. Back he comes once a week. We never asked about getting the tablecloth back. Respect for helping him out in his time of need. Once a very thin, middle-aged woman came in. She couldn't have weighed more than 100 pounds soaking wet. She asked what our biggest steak was. I told her it was the 24 ounces ribeye. She said, okay, I'll have that. Our steaks came with 2 sides, so I asked which ones she'd like. She said I don't want sides. I told her they were included in the price, and she still refused them. I bring out her steak and she begins eating. She's about a third of the way through when I ask, how is everything? She says, great. Bring me another steak. I say, is there anything wrong with that one? She says, no, it's great. I want a second one. I go back to the chef and tell him, and he couldn't believe it. But we served her another steak. She ate all 48 ounces of steak and left me a $40 tip. She was legit 3% steak after the meal. In college I worked at a burrito shop on campus. One night this guy who was stoned out of his mind ordered a burrito with everything on it. 3x salsa, sour cream, extra beans, meat, rice, everything. I could barely wrap the burrito. He walks over and sits at a table and takes one bite and all the burrito contents shot out the bottom. He just went oh no and then just started eating it out of his lap and off the table. It was entertaining to watch. I want oh no burrito guy to eat with I've made a mistake chicken soup hot dog lady. Like, they were weird enough to make it into this thread but they realized their mistakes, owned them, and no one got cussed out, demeaned, or a 1-star review written about them. We had a woman send a grilled chicken salad back because it was cold. So we cooked some new chicken and made sure to send it back while still warm. She sent it back again. The entire salad wasn't hot enough for her. We microwaved her salad. She ate it. I don't know, man. Edit. As of the 6th of December 2023, this was my top rated comment on this account. Unfortunately, thanks to the stellar mismanagement of USPES, I am looking to have this account permabanned. It was a fun ride, kiddos. Sometimes at my old job we would have Nacho Expo, and one guy asked for lettuce instead of chips, which, no problem, I love a taco salad. Except all he wanted for toppings was nacho cheese. He wanted a hot nacho salad. This man told me he couldn't have anything that has been ground up at some point. So like, can't use anything with flour in it. Not because the gluten, but because it was made small at one point. My man, that is not a thing. We had a lady tell a server that she was allergic to crispy. A whole bottle of fish sauce. and they use the whole bottle of fish sauce. You mamma me this motherfucker. Chili dog. Sub chicken noodle soup for chili. She took a bite and said, "Oh, I made a mistake." Did they just pour chicken soup over her hot dog? The place I worked at had little water cups on the table and we kept them filled for customers. I sat a party of 2 women who said they were waiting for a third person and went to fill their water cups. When I asked if I should fill the third one or wait for the third person to arrive, one woman said, "Oh, no need, he's trying to quit." I thought it was a joke, and when the third person, a man, got there, I went to fill his water. He said, "No, don't fill it, I'm trying to quit water." Worked with a guy on a fishing boat that claimed to never drink water. Weirdest person I've ever met. Really good work ethic though, and to my knowledge and his credit I never saw the man drink a glass of water. But my god, could he put away milk? Like a gallon plus a day. Used to mix flavoring packets with it. Nothing like working 16 hours hauling in fish and finishing your night with an ice cold glass of grape flavored milk. Used to make everyone sick watching him drink that shit. Honestly, I'd say the weirdest thing was that while I was a server at a restaurant in the Royal Hawaiian, a guest asked me to book a shark adventure tour. It had nothing to do with my job or even the hotel. Those tours were entirely separate businesses. I took his black card, went to guest services, picked up a pamphlet, and booked the tour. He tipped me $250. Totally worth it. Being close to someone who was an assistant for a billionaire, many rich people are deliberately demanding assholes, but some literally lose their grasp of who is supposed to do what for them. They get so used to being camped and ushered around and treated like royalty they kind of just think they can ask any service person anything and it can be done, or sometimes even their lawyers, accountants, etc. I mean, fuck 'em sideways, but I do understand situations like this. Guy came in with a large group, must have had a recent surgery or something cause he asked for his meal to be blended. He ordered a lasagna. Has to be something like that. I recently started working part-time in a nursing home kitchen. Dietary restrictions and consistency requirements are very strict for each resident. On my first day I was walking around trying to learn things and I saw a girl blending something, so I walked up and asked what she was doing. With the most defeated look on her face she looked at me in the eyes and said, "I'm pureeing a hot dog. The meal that day was tuna and that person can't have fish, so she wanted pureed hot dog." Edit. In my limited experience with food consistency, lasagna is probably not a bad option if he can't eat solids. Probably looked gross though. When I went to take an order from 2 men, one grabbed my thigh and said, "I'll have you. You look meaty." The other guy at the table was mortified. I was unamused. The other servers wanted to take the table off me, but I wasn't traumatized, just annoyed. I work at a liquor store and I asked a regular customer, who's got a much younger wife with a brand new baby at home, what I could get for him, and he said you, and I was like, oh that's unfortunate. You want liquor or to get out? He chose liquor. Can I have a chicken salad please? But instead of corn I want peppers, instead of raisins, dates, and instead of pineapple, apple. And no chicken. Thank you. I was on a date and she ordered a chicken Caesar salad with no croutons, chicken, cheese or dressing. Waiter looked at me and I had the same perplexed look. He said, "So just a bowl of lettuce?" She said, "No, chicken Caesar without the croutons, chicken, cheese or dressing." She got a bowl of lettuce. That was our only date. I used to work at Olive Garden. There was a lady that would come in at least once a week and she was dubbed by us staff as Pepperoncini Lady. She would want you to open a new bag of the pepperoncinis we used in the salads and pour out the juice in a cup. She would literally straight up drink the juice. She would also get a bowl of pepperoncinis and just eat them. Now I'm trying to think what essential vitamin or mineral she was deficient in that made her crave this. I had a couple that told me to wait before I crevassed their table so the man could lick every plate clean first. They had multiple apps and entrees between them and he licked every single one clean before I was allowed to take it. They weren't in a private booth or anything. The other guests could see this happening. Now this is weird. Had someone visibly offended that their glass of wine didn't have ice. After I'd get her a mug of ice to pour it over, she asked for sugar packets which she stirred into it. I could she still wasn't enjoying it and offered to get her a soft drink instead. She gladly let me swap it for some lemonade. Maybe that was her first time drinking wine and was slowly realizing it tastes bad lol. Chicken is vegetarian. Lady orders pizza with chicken for the table. Rest of the table argued with her that they're vegetarians. She could have chicken on her own pizza with chicken. She replied chicken is vegetarian, refused to understand that her friends were trying to get a vegetarian meal. Some people just don't get it. I was invited to a dinner once where the host cooked my serving of roast beef extra long, since I was vegetarian. This isn't how it works. Guacamole without avocados, the whole reason behind my name. She was completely serious too. Love that this stood out to you so much you made it your username. I work at Domino's. Asked a guy if he wanted any toppings on his pizza, and he 100% seriously asked me, do you guys have coconut? If you like pizza, call it us. I once had a lady ask for chicken medium rare. I told her we can't do that and she responded with, but they do it at other restaurants for me. I promptly told her to go to other restaurants then. I ain't catching that lawsuit. She probably had some smoked chicken at a barbecue place and thought it was med rare. Deleted. I had a regular that wanted their tiramisu served hot. House salad. Hold the lettuce and all other vegetables. Extra croutons, extra cheese, extra dressing. Literally a plate of croutons, cheese and dressing. I'm a chef for a private school and we have a salad bar that's included with kids' meal purchases. I see crouton, cheese, and ranch salads all day every day. Kids fucking love croutons. I've seen them put them inside of their tacos and basically on anything we serve. A grilled cheese, Atkins style. This was like early 2000s. My boss told me to microwave 3 slices of cheese and charge her $8 for it. She was thrilled. When we were in Rome, my then 10-year-old brother ordered a grilled cheese, expecting a grilled cheese sandwich. He got a hunk of cheese that had been put on the grill for a few minutes. Ginger Maester plus Tabasco plus whipped cream plus pepper. Wait. Tobacco? Not like Tabasco? I mean, either way it's horrible. One time at a Mexican restaurant my brain glitched and I asked for chopsticks. Poor girl froze up and said, "I'll ask my manager, but I don't think we have those." If I ever open up a Mexican restaurant, I'll add a challenge that if you can eat a whole ass taco with chopsticks, without dropping a single piece of anything inside it, your meal is free. Years ago while leaving a restaurant I saw a guy sitting at the counter seats pouring ketchup into his Sprite, straight out of the glass Heinz bottle. He glanced around to see if anyone was looking and then started pouring it in. Well, at least he was ashamed of himself, as he should be. Not a server but my grandma would bring in her own bread to restaurants and ask them to toast it as a side for her breakfast. Edit. I never really asked her about the bread, but I believe it was some store-bought, multi-grain style of bread. She'd bring it in a Ziploc bag. It definitely wasn't an allergy thing and I don't think it was a saving money thing either. She wasn't the Great Depression type. She was a character straight out of Mad Men MRS. Maisel. She was never told no, but to be honest, she may have only done it at places she was a regular at. Typically when we visited my grandparents, we always went to the same restaurants. My clearest memory of her doing this is at a place we always had breakfast at the morning before we left. When my great-grandmother would take my mom and uncle to McDonald's, she would bring slices of cheese from home and add them to the hamburgers because she didn't want to pay an extra nickel. She would also add sugar to her Coke. I work somewhere that sells Macallan 25. It's a 25-year aged scotch that is $350 for a 2-ounce pour. We don't sell it often, just for the occasional high roller. Someone asked for 2 shots of it mixed with Diet Coke one night. The bartender died inside pouring it for them, but a $700 tab is a $700 tab. We aren't in the business of telling you not to spend money. $350? I remember in 1998 or so, to celebrate my first job as an attorney I bought a bottle of that for $200. Last time I saw one for sale it was like $3,000. I once had a woman order a glass of red wine, with a side of creamer. I actually didn't think much of it at first, but when I brought them to her, she proceeded to pour the cream into the glass of wine. I told her I've never seen that before. She said you've got to try it. I'm not going to try it. Stuff like this makes me wonder how people come across these things where they typically aren't even on the same table. I worked in an Italian place at the height of the Atkins diet craze. We had someone order a personal pizza, to go, no crust, along with some other stuff for their family. My kitchen manager thought quick. Took a piece of foil, built the pizza on top of it, sans crust, and ran it through the oven. We boxed it up and sent it out with the rest of the order. I never heard back from them, and to this day I'm still not sure if it was a genuine request, or someone's idea of a joke. Either way, I don't really care. Former cook, had someone order a quesadilla without the cheese one time. I thought that was pretty funny. So just a dilla. Side salad with ketchup instead of dressing. Hawk. Asked for the calamari, when it came she sent it back, didn't realize it was squid just like the name. Have had the same with espresso. Espresso is made of squid? A customer asked me to overcook his chicken breast until it's extremely dry and rubbery. Said he loves overcooked dry chicken. Literally said I want it to the point it's tough like leather. Must be a nostalgic thing for his mom's terrible cooking. I was at a salad bar and a lady put lettuce on her plate and then covered it in ice. She ate it with a fork, attempting to stab the ice like croutons. No one else seemed to notice. She was chatting with the staff like any regular would. I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. Oh wow, something I actually have an answer for. Worked at an all-you-can-eat sushi place and you were allowed one bowl of ice cream. Anything more and it would just be an all-you-can-eat ice cream place. Woman asked for chocolate ice cream with a heaping side of wasabi. She ate it all mixed together. She admitted to it being super weird but said it tasted great. Still the weirdest order I've taken to date. Granted I don't work in food service anymore. You can get wasabi chocolate in Japan and it's rather nice, like you can have chilies in chocolate. I had a regular that would eat an entree-sized plate of pepperoncini for lunch. That's it with some soda water. He would take a bite then pour the juice in his soda water. He had to eat like 40 or 50 every time he came in. For a second there I read that as pepperoni and I was like WTF. I could only imagine the kind of reflux you'd have if you ate that much pepperoni daily. Ranch with everything. Don't get me wrong, I love my ranch dressing too. But people want it on the things you'd never expect. $60 steak? Can I get a side of ranch for the steak? Soup? Can I get ranch with that? Spaghetti? Would you like me to grate some fresh cheese on top? No, but can I get ranch for it? My cousin requested ranch for her sushi at a really nice restaurant at a wedding rehearsal dinner. They were so confused and didn't even know what ranch was. She said it was okay and then went out to her truck and came back with a bottle she had stashed there. This was years ago, but I had a middle-aged woman ask for some Wawa to drink. Took some effort, but I kept a straight face and asked if she wanted ice in her Wawa. I had a young man ask me for a choxy moo moo. It took everything to keep my composure. He must have been like 8, but in my opinion still too old to be talking like that. It was pretty hysterical. When I was a server, the objects requested couldn't faze me. The quantities of what was requested had the ability to make me question the customer's sanity. 30 ramekins of whipped butter was pretty impressive. The lady who ate them appeared to be in her 40s or 50s and nothing odd or noteworthy about her appearance. She was a bit on the thin side, if anything. That table was a party of 8 and she seemed to be the center of attention. Did she put the butter on anything or just eat it with a spoon? I worked at a country club in high school, and with your meal you received a salad. I asked what dressing she'd like and proceeded to name 15 dressings we had. She told me they all sound delicious. She will have them all on the salad. I initially thought she meant ramekins of each of the dressings, but she said no, she wanted them all on the physical salad. I proceeded to bring a salad with 15 dollops of dressing on it, ranging from vinaigrettes, honey mustard, Chinese peanut dressing, raspberry dressing, ranch, blue cheese, and others. I watched her from the service station then mix the salad with all the dressings and eat every bite of the salad, then use the bread to clean the leftover dressing on the plate. By far the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. There is no way that combination would taste good. Edit. Remembered another dressing. We have a family of regulars who come in and immediately hand their server a printed out list of their order with everything coursed out, including drink refills. The first time I had them, they seemed almost rude and found any questions I had regarding their order as intrusions, but they always tip well. By now, I know the drill and handle the whole interaction almost without saying a word. I guess they just want their evening to be as distraction free as possible. There was also a time years ago where a guy asked for 2 orders of chips and quizo, bring a spoon, and forget the chips. He then proceeded to eat the quizo like it was soup. An old man once asked me for a damp napkin to clean his glasses. Although an odd request at a restaurant, I ran a napkin underwater and came back to give it to him. He then asked why I was giving him a wet napkin. I have had absurd experiences with other types of jobs, but none more than in the restaurant industry. He said damp, not wet. Someone once ordered a veggie quesadilla from me, and after I brought it out and checked on them to make sure everything came out alright, the person said, "Excuse me, I have a dairy allergy and I can't eat this. Why would you sell me something with cheese on it?" She did not inform me she had a dairy allergy and ended up ordering a veggie quesadilla no cheese, so just sauteed peppers and onion on a large dry tortilla. Back when I was serving at a Chili's, I had a couple ask me to give them their gender reveal for a new baby. I never met them before, but apparently they fucking love Chili's. I'm not a server, but one time I was in line at a Subway. The guy in front of me ordered a cold cut combo, which I think is just a bologna sandwich. Starting normal. But he follows up with "and add meatballs to that." The girl making it paused for a second, but pushed through. But then she did what her job demanded. She asked what kind of cheese he wanted. The man looked her right in the eyes, didn't hesitate, and says cottage. The sandwich artist looked at him and just said no. To this day, I have no idea if she said no because they didn't have cottage cheese or because she was too disgusted to make it. But that one word no sent me into a fit of laughter and I had to leave the line.